This video contains content sponsored by John Wilson Blades and MK Blades. Opinions discussed in this video do not reflect the views of John Wilson or MK. Hello and welcome to the skating lesson. I'm Jennifer Kirk.
And I'm Dave Leese, and today we have the opportunity to speak with Sharon Cohen, the founder and CEO of Figure Skating in Harlem. Jenny and I are both very supportive of the work that they are doing with figure skating in Harlem, using figure skating to teach life lessons on and off the ice. So what do you like most about the program?
I was just going to say that's kind of what we do with the skating lesson.
Just a little bit sassier, but yes.
Lessons, we try to have our interviewees share lessons that they learned from their, what was our whole little pitch when we were first emailing
These are lessons they've learned along the way.
Okay, but anyway, we're off track. Respect for Sharon and what she's been doing with this organization. We also have the opportunity to speak to two young women who are members of the Figure Skating in Harlem organization. We want to talk to them about what they've learned since they started skating, how the program has helped shape who they are today, and their goals for the future as well.
Well, Sharon, today you are best known for being the founder and CEO of Figure Skating in Harlem. Now, we know you were an ice dancer and that you also trained with Carlo Fassi and Rod Ludington. So take us back to your skating career a bit and tell us about it.
Sure. Well, I was fortunate enough to grow up in Wilmington, Delaware, where Luddy was the great pro that he is, and Arthur Burke, and I was actually a single skater. And I went and got my 8th test and my senior free, and I competed regionals and novice ladies and did the whole 9 yards. Went out to Carlo in the summers with Krista and Diane Goldstein, who's now Diane Miller. And I trained with the best. Very fortunate.
Okay. Well, you eventually moved on to college. So when did you decide to stop competing and kind of move on with that portion of your life?
Good question. I was 16, so I had 2 years left of high school that I really wanted to enjoy. So I never competed at senior ladies, and I went on and joined the school newspaper and joined some peace groups and got really involved so I could prepare for college.
Okay. Take us through the process, Sharon, of how your vision for figure skating in Harlem came about.
Sure. Happy accident, I'd like to say. I had moved to New York City after I graduated from Brown University, and I was working for Dan Rather at 48 Hours, CBS News. And I saw a news show about some kids who wanted to play hockey in Harlem. And I was so intrigued because I never saw kids of color on the ice. And I thought what they were doing was really interesting. And I called them up to congratulate them. And they said, we have some girls that don't want to play hockey. They want to figure skate. Would you teach them? So I was 23 years old, and I volunteered for about 7 years. And I started teaching young ladies to skate. And I saw, with just a little bit of effort on my part, you opened up this beautiful ice rink, and they started growing before my eyes and transforming. And it was so inspiring to know that just a little bit of opportunity goes a really long way.
Well, I'm sure many people have ideas of great visions that they can do, ways that they can help out their community. How did you take it from this idea and getting started to what it is today? Talk us through that process, because I'm sure there were ups and downs. How did you keep yourself going and create this amazing program?
Well, to be honest with you, I was invited into this community that was not my own. I'd never been to Harlem, and I traveled around the world, and I thought I want to meet the folks who are living here and learn from them. And it became this beautiful partnership and dance that we did for many years without even thinking about forming an organization. But what happened was it got more and more popular when I was teaching skating, that the after-school program I was working with was changing and closing. And the parents said, we don't want this to end. We want you to continue. So I was coming out of film school with a degree, and Spielberg was not waiting to hand me a movie to direct. So I said, hey, if the boys can do it, we can do it. So we started figure skating in Harlem, but with one caveat. Education had to be the center of this mission. And so we never missed a beat. We already had a pool of young ladies. And when you get to know all the individual students and their families, you just get hooked because there's so much enthusiasm. And so from 1997 until now, we've just grown step by step. And it's like I used to say, it's like my little Rubik's Cube. Every year I try to line up everything to make it perfect. And since we're never perfect, we keep doing it again. And we've gotten bigger and bigger and bigger. over time.
Was there a moment when you really felt like this was catching on, that it was starting to take shape in the way that you wanted it to?
Well, I was never concerned that it was catching on per se by anyone other than the students and families I was serving. So as long as it was catching on with them, as long as I could see transformation and change and leadership and see our young ladies become all that they can be, that was the incentive to keep going.
Well, with figure skating in Harlem, you say that you want to promote strong self-worth, independence, and confidence. So in what ways do you feel that skating can help these girls achieve this?
Well, skating's hard. And as you know, you can't just jump on the ice and do a double axel, right? You have to work at it. So the best part is our young ladies learn how to set goals and incrementally, step by step, perfect something and then move on to the next. And that applies to everything. So I think that, that's the answer.
Was there a moment from your own skating career where you're trying to have these girls emulate a lesson that you learned? Perhaps a situation where you were competing that you had to rise above adversity, something that really made you who you are today?
I have to tell you, I fell in love with skating. I just fell in love with it, and that's mostly what I wanted them to feel. It's really you out there, and you're responsible for your destiny. And the harder you work, the more change you can see. And so physically you're going to fall down and you get back up. And trust me, I have fallen down and gotten back up many times in my life. And it's good to know through skating that there's no shame in it. You just get back up and hold your head up high.
Mm-hmm.
Well, with the program, how much time do you actually spend with the girls? I guess one-on-one or in a group setting?
Well, now we have a staff of more than 60. So we have coaches and tutors and counselors. It's a full program. I think we have 560 hours of programming a year. So we have a full-time summer camp. The kids are with us from 9 in the morning till 6 at night, and they get academics during the day and skating in the late afternoon. And then the after-school program starts at 3:30, 4 o'clock and goes till 8 o'clock most nights. So our girls spend a minimum of 3 to 4 afternoons a week with us. And some get up at 6 in the morning on Sundays because they have synchro practice.
Are all of the coaches and the tutors, are they volunteers? How do you go about finding coaches and tutors?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. We pay everyone because we want them to be professionals. We want our girls to have the best that we can offer them. And we get coaches from all over. Some are former skaters, some are professional coaches. But what they have to really do is care about the students and hopefully have good technique.
Well, in reading about the program, one of the interesting things we learned is that all of the girls need to sign a contract stating that they'll maintain at least a B+ average in school, and that they also take classes in addition to tutoring, and character development classes were mentioned on the site. So what do those classes entail?
So as I said, when we became our own not-for-profit in 1997, which was nearly 20 years ago, education was the center and the heart, and skating was the hook. The girls love to skate, but they have to keep their grades up. So what do? The education side involves tutoring with a 4-to-1 ratio. For every one tutor, there's 4 students, and we focus on the basics, reading, writing, and math, in whatever grade they're in. We take girls who are 6 years old all the way up to senior year in high school. So we want to help them with their core skills. We're really interested in especially reading and writing skills. After they have their tutoring, we actually have education classes, and we focus in 3 areas: financial literacy. We really want our girls to know about money and to know how to begin saving at a young age and the importance of being responsible with money. We focus on communications and writing. We feel that ice skating is about expression and physical expression, and we want them to be able to verbally express themselves and create a good persuasive argument, not why they should get off the ice, but why they should stay on the ice. And we also want them to be kind of excited by science. And there's a lot of science in skating. So we create our own curriculum using STEM to talk about all the ways in which skating can be aligned with physics and biology and nutrition, things like that. So that's really the core of our education program.
What is the biggest change that you've seen with the girls since starting the program?
Without a doubt, pride, confidence, discipline, self-discipline. That is such an amazing tool when a young lady can be responsible for herself and be disciplined in her actions. And I think to see them develop that leadership quality. Our girls are really proud of themselves, and they're willing to take risks. they might, figure skating was not anything that was happening in Harlem when I came. So now they feel so proud of that they can try other things that may be considered not traditionally an inner city activity.
Well, you speak about all of the hundreds of girls that have gone through the program. So whom do you consider, or what do you consider to be the program's biggest success story?
Wow. I think our existence is the program's biggest success story. You talk about sometimes the playing field isn't always level. And what we tried to do is use this beautiful canvas, this blank ice, as a way for girls to discover what they're really made of and who they are. Of course, we've had success stories, girls going to Brown University and Mount Holyoke and Williams College, some of the best schools in the country, which we're very proud of. But I'm just as proud as somebody who's scared by the boards and won't, have all this fear and won't take that first step, and then they're gliding across the ice, because that student is developing the inner resources that you need to succeed in life, not just in academics or skating.
You spoke a little bit about that Rubik's Cube earlier and trying to get it perfect. So what motivates you on a daily basis?
I am so passionate about providing opportunity. I mean, I think about, sometimes I'll come to the rink and I'll see it filled with all of our students and think, wow, they would not be doing this had we not, the parents and the coaches, had we not gotten together and said, this is important. And so I think that they inspire me, and that gives me the energy to keep going. And now we're going to Detroit. We're opening our first satellite program in another city, because we really think this model that includes education, leadership, and skating can change a young girl's life.
Well, next month, Dave and I will have the opportunity to meet you when we come to New York. We're very excited about that. So where did the idea for the annual Skating with the Stars Gala come about?
Well, the first, 8 years of the organization, most of our financing came from grants. So in New York City, there are a lot of educational foundations that believed in our mission and what we were doing, saw the results, and gave us large grants. But over time, that's not the only way, not a way that we could grow and sustain ourselves. So I was told we needed to throw a gala. So we decided, we're a figure skating organization, we should do something totally different, right? So initially, our Skating with the Stars Gala began by inviting some of our amazing skating partners like Scott Hamilton and Evan Lysacek, and a lot of them were young when we first started, but they lent their name, and then they came on the ice and skated with our guests, and that's how we began to raise money through an event. And now I believe this is our 11th Skating with the Stars, and just last year, for the first time, we got so big, we filled Woolman Rink, and then we had a dinner afterwards, and we filled the dinner. It became like 2 giant events, so we had to pull back. And we just did a dinner last year and brought dancing into it to make it more manageable. So Meryl Davis, as you know, skated with Max from Dancing with the Stars and did a performance. And our girls did a spoken word performance, because that's just as important to what they do. And it was a huge success. It was our most successful gala. And this year we're following up with one just as exciting.
So tell us about this year's gala. What are your goals for this year's event?
So this year's gala is really about sharing with our guests all that our kids are doing educationally here in New York City. We opened an academic center only a year ago, so we can serve more kids in the space with deeper programming, but also to share this big leap we're taking to the city of Detroit. And so Mary Wilson is our MC, and she's originally from Detroit. She was with the original Supremes with Diana Ross, and she's going to be there. And we're honoring, of course, Meryl and Charlie, who are lifelong Detroiters, and they're very much behind this effort to bring our program to the city of Detroit, which really, really needs it.
Well, how did you decide which skaters to honor this year?
Well, it was, every year we've had so much support from the greatest skaters on the planet, really. I mean, it's almost an embarrassment of riches, from Dorothy Hamill to Sasha Cohen to Sarah Hughes to Debbie. We've honored so many wonderful skaters. And this year, because we're going to Detroit and Meryl has gotten so involved with us, it was a no-brainer. They've been coming to our gala for at least, I want to say, almost a decade. And they were the perfect choice.
Now,
they are the perfect.
They are. They're phenomenal. Now, in addition to Meryl and Charlie, you're also honoring Cicely Tyson, correct? The actress?
Absolutely.
So why
She's
did you
a-
choose to honor her?
Good question. Okay, so we want to introduce Detroit as a new city where we're starting up programming, but our flagship is Harlem, right? So who better than Cicely Tyson, who is Harlem born and bred, who became one of the most legendary actresses. She was married to Miles Davis. She's been in movies and television. She was just honored at the Kennedy Center. We thought she represents and typifies what hard work, where that can really take you in the world. And we thought she was the best role model for our girls.
Well, you've been speaking about moving into Detroit. So when is your official opening day, I guess, for your center in Detroit? And how long has it been in the works for?
It's probably been in the works for about a year. We began the concept of replicating our model to other cities. We had looked at many other cities actually and wanted to find the right criteria, the city that would really be the best place to start, and Detroit came to the top of the list. And we've just formed an advisory board of folks who will really own this program and are local and understand the needs that are local to Detroit. And we're hunting for our director, the person who will be the take charge, the person in charge in Detroit. And so we're taking it just a step at a time, but we hope to open in the not too distant future.
Well, looking ahead, let's say 5 years from now, where would you like to see the organization, Sharon?
Wow. You know, I have a dual dream here because I think this model, we know how to service kids. And I'd love to see this model in multiple cities where there are communities that are underserved. That's number one. But we also have a dream of enclosing our rink here in Harlem and having an academic center and an ice rink all in one place and really having that be a stellar flagship.
Well, we wish you the best of luck. We're so excited to come meet you and some of the girls next month. So thank you for coming and sharing some information with us. And we would love to speak to any of the girls if they're available.
Well, as a matter of fact, here I have two of our graduating seniors who are just amazing and been with the program quite some time. And I can have them take the hot seat. Do you want to?
Sure.
Oh, let's do it together. That would be great.
Yeah.
We can ask them.
Come on, you guys.
Thank you, Sharon.
Thank you, guys. I really look forward to meeting you in person.
Yes.
You have a lot of fans in our office. You know that.
Oh, we like fans.
Our coaches are just crazy for you.
Oh.
Hi, guys. What are your names? Why don't you introduce yourselves?
I'm Yazabeth, and I've been with FSH for about 9 or 10 years now, and I am a senior.
I'm Jessica, I'm 17, and I've been with the program about 6 years.
Okay, so I'm Jenny, and this is Dave. We have some questions for both of you, so we'll probably ask the question, and if you can each answer, that would be fantastic. So how did you first hear about the program?
Well, I first heard about the program when I was just about 6 or 7 years old. I am from the local community in Harlem, where figure skating in Harlem, our local rink is at. And I was walking by with my mother, just finishing ballet class, and I saw girls skating on the ice. And it wasn't common at all in my community. And I was just one of those kids where I just really wanted to do lots of things, lots of sports, but figure skating had never come to mind, and so I saw these amazing girls skating in groups. And after that, I got to see the annual show, and I told my mom, this is what I want to do for sure. This is what I want to do my whole life. I want to skate, and I want to be in this program. So,
Oh no, sorry. Yeah.
Sorry. So I live in the Bronx, but I do go to school in Harlem. So basically, my mom saw the ad in a magazine, and she was like, "Hey, do you want to try figure skating?" And I was like, "Sure." I haven't really looked into skating. You know, I did basketball, I did track, but I've never done skating. I was born in Jamaica, where there's no ice whatsoever. So hearing about figure skating in Harlem, especially, was definitely something I wanted to do. So I was like, "Okay, let's take a try at this." So as you can see, I stayed. So.
Yeah.
So I guess, what did you both find hardest about skating early on?
Well, my first time skating was at the Rockefeller Center in Manhattan. My cousins took me to skating. And so initially it was scary because I've never been on ice before. So I wasn't used to being on being cold. I wasn't used to, having to balance on two blades. Like I wasn't used to this at all. So when I did start FSH, I was just scared. Like just flat out scared. I was scared that I would fall. I was scared that I would hurt myself. I was scared of injuries, but it had like I felt like it's been like so warm. Like I haven't been that scared. So yeah.
The
I
fear
was
is
definitely
gone. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was definitely scared of just being in this new program where I didn't really know anyone. I was one of those kids that was very shy. I was definitely quiet to myself since I didn't really know anyone. Everyone was much older than I was. I saw people sometimes my age that were in like higher skating groups, and I just was just very nervous about skating, making friends, but that definitely changed right away.
Yeah.
Well, now that you've been a part of the program for a while, what do you like best about skating, and what have you learned about yourself since joining the organization?
I definitely the best thing that I like about skating is skating within a team. I am co-captain of the Open Juvenile Synchronized Skating Team, and the best thing is feeling like you have a family on the ice. We've all been here for a very, very long time, and it's definitely getting to see the older girls grow up, the younger girls grow up and progress so much, and they also look up to you, which is amazing. And the coaches are like definitely like so focused on us and always try to help us. And it's like more than a professional relationship. It's like we're all like family. So that's definitely the best thing that I like. What was
Oh, what have you learned about yourself since joining figure skating in Harlem?
Since figure skating in Harlem, I have definitely learned that I have so many skills, such as leadership, which is one of the biggest things now with figure skating in Harlem. They've taught me empowerment, how to develop myself as a well-presented young lady and whatnot. But definitely my leadership skills have increased. I did not know that I could do so many things. I have gotten to study abroad to India, being co-captain, which I never saw myself as leading a bunch of group of girls and like being a role model for other people. So definitely, I definitely found myself within figure skating in Harlem.
I love that it's a sport that is so unique and so like complex in its own way. Like there's always something new that you could try, always something new that that your coaches are introducing to you. You learn so many different things about yourself. Like wow, I didn't know my legs could do a spread eagle. Like I didn't, like you
Look at
learn
that! Hey.
right, yeah. So, and you learn so many new things about yourself. Like I'm also a dancer. It helps me with flexibility. It helps me, in school, like being able to time manage. Like there's a lot of things that plays into this sport. So I certainly love that it's such a unique sport that you can't like you don't really walk down the street and see everyone with a pair of skates, but you do see a lot of people with a basketball. So I love that it's so unique. I love that it gives me something different from everyone else because I love to stand out. So I definitely find that it makes me, like, it makes me special. Like it makes me different from everyone, basically.
What have you learned about yourself? I'm sorry, Dave.
I've learned that I could do I could do a lot of like I could do things that I never thought that I could. I learned that you just have to put your mind to things and then once your mind is in it, then your body just follows right through. I've learned that you could take on risks because, not every day you get faced with jumping off of ice and then trying to land it. So I think you learn that you could definitely take on risks. Like you can, it helps me outside where I'm faced with something that I have to go over. Like I have to face this obstacle. I learned that I can do this. So, I just picture myself like I'm on the ice, this is just one obstacle I have to face. So I certainly learned that I'm stronger than I give myself credit, that I used to give myself credit for. So definitely with leadership, your strength, stuff like that. I've learned a lot.
Well, you've both spoken a lot about all the different experiences you've had through the program. So I guess what's your favorite memory or moment that you've had in figure skating in Harlem?
Yeah, that's a lot.
Well, my favorite memory was last year at the gala. Last year's gala was so much fun. They actually played music, and we actually got to dance with all of the skaters, which was so fun, which usually you don't get to see that side of them besides the ice. And it was just an amazing experience. I had my team members there. I got to meet a bunch of wonderful people, and it was just completely different and so much fun for me. That was definitely one of the best memories I've had.
My favorite memory was when we took a trip to Washington D.C. So it was I think it was I was a junior at that time, so it was juniors mixed with 10th graders, I believe. Yes. So we went to DC and we stayed in a hotel. We visited George Washington University, Georgetown, and Howard. And my best friend actually goes to Howard, so I actually enjoyed going to Howard. She got us a tour with one of her friends. So I enjoyed that so much because I felt like I've never been to DC. So I got the chance to go to DC, spend time with my friends, got to know them more. Like me and Yazbek got really close after that trip. So I think that was my favorite memory. It brought our counselors out of just academics. So it was really fun, getting to rekindle like our relationships together, getting closer with each other while also learning about colleges as I would be going to college this year. So I think that I love that.
Well, you talked about last year's gala being one of your favorite memories. So will you girls be at this year's gala? And if so, what skaters are you most looking forward to seeing there?
Yes, I will be there. We both will be there because all seniors get to go there. I will actually be giving a speech also, and I'm working on that right now. I'm very excited to see Merle.
Yeah, definitely.
Excited to see her.
She's fantastic. And us and me and Dave, you're excited to see us too, right?
Of course. You guys are coming. You guys are coming.
Cute.
So I guess which skater do you most admire? Is it Meryl, and what do you like most about her?
I like her, and I also love Sarah Hughes. I got to spend a day with her at the UN, her and her family, and it was really, really, really fun. Like we went through the seats that all the different representatives sit in the UN. It was really cool. It was so much fun. We got to pass security. I was like, okay, I'm totally living the celebrity life now. So yeah, I love her. She's such a down to earth person. Like I love that she was just herself. She was just I told her that I spent 3 weeks at Yale, which she actually went for her education. Mm-hmm. And she was telling me I stayed in the same dorm that she stayed in. So we got to we talked it out like we knew each other for our entire lives. But it was really fun, and I love her. She's really down to earth. I love her skating.
Well, one of the people that I'm actually looking forward to seeing is Evan Lysacek. He's very, very, very fun. Every single year since I've been very young going to the gala, he's seen me grow up, so it's very interesting. Every time we get to see each other, we also have this handshake thing going on, and it's very fun every single time.
Can you show us the handshake? What is it?
I don't. She doesn't know it.
Can you? Okay, so it's a secret handshake.
So
Oh, he and I used to do that handshake. Well, that's very fun. Now, you both talked about how you're seniors. What are your goals moving forward? What are your goals for this time next year?
Well, so hopefully I will be at Rutgers University, New Brunswick. I've already got accepted. I also got accepted to University of Connecticut. So anywhere between those two, not too close to New York, not too far from New York. So anywhere in that parameter, I will be seeing myself there. I will be a biology major, or I'll be taking the prerequisites to go to med school. So whichever one. Yeah, so that's where I see myself.
Like Jessica. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I mean, will you continue skating? Do you think it's something that you'll do on the side?
Yes, definitely. I've already looked. One of my coaches actually went to Rutgers, so she told me how she was on the Skyliners and she had to go back and forth between Rutgers and the Skyliners and driving to Connecticut and then driving upstate. So I think that's a life I would be willing to, endeavor in. I would definitely, even if it's not me per se being the performer, I would also love to teach little kids to skate. So that's something I've always wanted to do. So I will definitely be skating.
Like Jessica, I will be in the pre-med major in college, hopefully at the University of New Haven. If not, I also got accepted into the Citadel Military College down south. And but however, my top choice is definitely in DC. After that DC trip, I definitely want to go to either Georgetown or George Washington University. And I definitely will plan on continuing skating, but actually with figure skating in Harlem. There is an alumni board right now, and I was hoping by this time next year we could definitely get together. I definitely plan on visiting the younger members of the team. I definitely want to stay involved. I'm not ready to move on.
It's hard to leave once you find something that you love. And you are both so poised, so intelligent. I've really enjoyed speaking with you. And David, I can't wait to meet you next month. We're going to have a lot
we
of
look
fun.
forward to your speech. So best of luck there as well. There's going to be a lot of people, so good luck. Yeah.
Yes, and thank you for coming on this skating lesson. We really appreciate it.